Tonight, we're going to present to you a very important part of the Navy's environmental cleanup program. I want to introduce quickly some people first so that you know some of the faces, names with faces. I'm Keith Forman. I'm the environmental coordinator, the Navy's environmental coordinator for the environmental cleanup program here at Treasure Island. With me is Dave Clark.
Tom.
I'm sorry. With me is Dave Clark. Dave is the lead project essentially the lead engineer on the project for the cleanup program, the whole cleanup program here at Treasure Island and Yerba Buena Island. With him is Bryce Bartelma. Sorry, I was going to call you DC, anyway, that's a nickname on the team, but anyway. So Bryce Bartelma here, who's a geologist and an environmental scientist, and he is the project manager for a big part of the project, which means that he's going to be in charge of this project not only when we're having meetings like tonight, but when we're actually out in the field doing environmental cleanup. Also, Medi Sunga from the state of California is here. Department of Toxic Substances Control, which is a mouthful of a name for an agency. She essentially represents the California Environmental Protection Agency as the lead agency. She's a regulator that we are required to work with very closely, and she regulates us, both the decisions and the documents we make and the field work. And then Nathan Schumacher is also with the state of California, the California Environmental Protection Agency, and he's a public participation specialist, right? And he will be speaking tonight, actually, on behalf of the state of California. And then we have Mr. Bob Beck. He's from the Treasure Island Development Authority. I just point him out because he's also a person that Navy works with very closely, and he also represents the city of San Francisco and their interests, and the Navy has to work very closely with that. We also have Alice Pilgrim here. Alice is the community co-chairperson for a board that we have. The Navy runs a board every other month. Our next meeting is April 19th here at the Casa. And Alice lives here. She's formerly a resident of Yerba Buena Island and a current resident of Treasure Island. And she co-chairs the meetings with me that we have. And you're all invited to that. It occurs again every other month. Our next meeting is April 19th here at the Casa. And then Bill Franklin is with us here. He's in the back. He's our public affairs officer. It's been a long time since our command had a professional full-time public affairs officer, and that's Bill Franklin, and he attends these meetings with us. And thank you, Bill, for attending. And then we have, in some ways, the most important person in the room, Christine. Christine is a transcriptionist. She has to create transcripts by typing every single word any of us say. So if I'm speaking tonight, or if someone else up here is, or if you're speaking tonight, because there'll be a period of time when you can come up to the microphone and speak, and we encourage that, please just try to speak slowly, as slow as you can, and clearly enough where she can understand enough to get down the words. And she has a very tough job and very physically in-shape fingers to do her job. So, Christine, my heart goes out to you. You have a very tough job. Okay, so we will start tonight. We started off with having a poster boards there, and some folks felt comfortable to go up and ask questions. That's great. But now comes the time where we're going to give the formal presentation on our Site 12 proposed plan. Now, each of you should have a copy. I believe there were enough copies for everyone to have a copy of the presentation. It looks like this. And you should have a copy if you don't already have a copy through the mail. You could have picked up a copy here tonight of our actual proposed plan, which when you start to read it, I'll acknowledge up front, is a pretty technical document in some ways and hard to read unless you're an environmental scientist and you do this stuff every day. And I understand that and acknowledge that. This document, we did seriously attempt to put in as much plain language as we can, but we still have to meet a lot of the legal requirements for what a Site 12 proposed plan has to be. And that's why it looks the way it does. And the presentation tonight, I'm hoping, will make it a bit clearer. So,